Welcome to Wheels on the Bike. Today I am heading out to run an errand in downtown Toronto, and I thought I would take you along for the ride. Now, why do I want to take you with me? Well, you may be interested in what the Toronto cycling infrastructure looks like, especially what it looks like in the wintertime.
As usual, I'm picking up my bike from the bike room. I'm starting my ride on the Martin Goodman Trail. This is a bi-directional, multi-use trail, and it is not exclusive to cyclists. The Martin Goodman Trail is typically very well maintained in the wintertime, but this winter has been a bit of a letdown in terms of snow and ice clearing. In this portion of the trail is only about half cleared, and it causes a bit of a pinch point for people walking and for cyclists. In this video, I want to address a common misconception people have, which is that nobody rides a bike in the winter. Because of the snow, I've also been noticing a lot more people cross-country skiing in the city. On this section of the trail, I'm very glad to have studded tires on the bike as there's just a lot of ice here. And I passed a few more cyclists. Based on my personal experience with winter cycling, I've been seeing a lot more people riding bikes this winter than in previous winters. Let me know if you've noticed this as well. Here are a couple of people on bike share bikes. I'm now coming closer to Toronto's harbourfront, and as you will see, the multi-use trail is still only about halfway plowed in this area. But it's better than not being plowed at all. And I spotted a couple more cyclists here. From here on in, I'll be riding on the road. There is a painted bicycle lane to my right, but at this point, it's full of snow. The bicycle lane turns into a separated one-way cycle track, which is much better cleared than the bicycle lane I just rode next to. As I approached this construction area, I was really surprised to see that a dedicated bi-directional cycle track was created. This was excellent to see, as the street itself was close to vehicle traffic. And I'm not surprised to see another cyclist here. Alright, things are going to get a bit hairy here in terms of winter maintenance. I'm once again on a protected one-way cycle track, but this cycle track has seen better days for sure. The snow clearing here is patchy. Some parts are cleared while others are full of ice. Here I joined a one-way street where you'll see a number of different cycling infrastructure types, separated cycle tracks and painted bike lanes. There's obviously been some winter maintenance here, but it's very inconsistent. I was quite uncomfortable riding here because of the amount of ice and slush on the bike paths. I saw multiple stalled cars on this trip, and here's one example. I'm glad that this car did not block the entire bike lane. And as you can tell, the snow clearing here is very sloppy, and this area was slippery. Studded tires to the rescue again. And here we only have sharrows or shared lane markings, and they veer off to the left, putting the cyclist right in the middle of a live car lane. Not the best solution and very confusing. I don't typically ride here. I was glad to follow the cyclist in front of me. I'm getting closer to my destination, but first I had to squeeze by some construction and get overtaken by a bus. Breathe, Agnieszka. Just breathe. Okay, I had enough of riding next to the bus, so I decided to take a walk as my destination was close by. I'm now heading back home, and I'm riding on another one-way street with a protective cycle track. This cycle track was full of slush, ice, and snow. I was really surprised that the state of the track was this bad, especially since the road next to it was well cleared, and I'm right downtown at this point. Here's another stalled car. There were multiple instances where I had to get off my saddle and push the bike while riding on this cycle track, because it was either that or falling. I do have to recognize some sort of an effort put in by the City of Toronto into clearing these cycle tracks, but I think that a little bit more attention could have made them a lot safer to ride on. Here I'm approaching a one-way street with a contraflow lane, and on this street, bicycles are allowed to travel both ways, while cars are only allowed to travel one way. A colleague of mine once told me that when riding a bike, think of the right of way as the right of weight. So if a vehicle is much heavier than yours, let them go first. And while not everyone will agree with this concept stayed with me, and this is why I get out of the way of this car, because I'd rather not get run over. Pardon the terrible footage here, it was getting dark, but here I am just taking the lane. This is a car lane, as the painted bike lane is full of snow. I do have to acknowledge the fact that nobody honked at me, so drivers were really kind that day. Thanks, Toronto drivers. And I rejoined bike lane here as the bike lane was better maintained. And here I'm riding south to join the Martin Goodman multi-use trail again, and this is the trail I'll take all the way back home.
Alright, so I will finish up my video here. I think there were some scary patches, especially on the side streets that weren't really plowed very well. What do you think? Seeing what you saw on the roads today, would you ride your bike in the city of Toronto? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. As per usual, if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Comment, like, share, subscribe, do all the usual things, and I will see you in the next one.